Hi everyone, and welcome to my channel. If you're new here, I'm Yiuli, and this is a space for all those people who love Greek language and culture and they would like to learn more. Earlier this week, I had a conversational course with one of my students, and at the end of the lesson, he thanked me and he said, "Αντίο." This sounds a little academic. And what I've noticed is that people who don't interact often with Greek native speakers are using a language that is so textbook. Today, I decided to share my insights with you and focus on alternative ways to say goodbye as a native Greek speaker. By the end of this lesson, you will be able to understand all those phrases and you're gonna start using them yourself. Before we dig into the topic, please hit the like button for YouTube's algorithm and subscribe to my channel so you won't miss any of my new uploads. I will start with more formal ways to say goodbye, and I will continue to more informal, more friendly ways to terminate a conversation or a meeting. And I will organize the lesson with timestamps that you will find in the description box. When you learn a new language, the very first lesson is devoted to greetings and farewells in both formal and informal ways. Αντίο is the #1 way to say goodbye according to textbooks. This is something you learn during your first Greek class, and even though it's easier to memorize because many Latin-based languages, they use the exact same word to leave a conversation or a meeting. This isn't the case when you speak everyday Greek. We use αντίο when we do not expect to see the other person again. It's like goodbye for months or for years. This word reminds me of old black and white movies when people used to travel miles away from their families in those big ferries like the Titanic, and they would probably never have the chance to meet them again. Χάρηκα που σε γνώρισα ή χάρηκα για τη γνωριμία. It's a way to say goodbye to a person that you just met for the first time. For example, you were in a friend's gathering and you met some new people. In order to say goodbye to them, you can say χάρηκα που σε γνώρισα ή χάρηκα για τη γνωριμία. On the other side, χάρηκα που σε είδα, we can say to somebody that we meet randomly. Let's say that you walk down the street and you meet one of your classmates from high school or a friend that you haven't seen for ages. At the end of your meeting, you can use the expression χάρηκα που σε είδα. It was good to see you after all this time. Στο επανιδείν can be used in both formal and informal settings. It comes from two words, the prefix επανα, which expresses repetition, and the verb ειδήν, to meet, to see. The full phrase can be translated as until next time, until we meet again. It's something between a goodbye and a wish to meet the other person again someday in the future. For instance, on the final day of a co-worker, if you include στο επανιδείν in the farewell card, immediately this adds a more personal and warm touch. Καλή συνέχεια. There is no immediate equivalent for καλή συνέχεια in English. It can be translated as good continuing, and it's something that you can say to your colleague if your shift is finished and they still have work to do, or to your tutor if they still have classes after yours. So every time you buy a coffee in the morning, the lady at the cashier might probably say καλή σας ημέρα. Have a great day. This is a phrase that I use quite often when I speak with my dad on the phone, because we speak really early in the morning before we start working. So at the end of our conversation, I always say καλή σου μέρα μπαμπά. have a great day. Dad, have a great day. Now, if it's the end of the week, you can say καλό Σαββατοκύριακο. Have a great weekend to a colleague that you will probably meet again on Monday. Now, if you expect to see the person later this evening or after work, you can end the conversation by saying τα λέμε αργότερα. See you later. Another informal parting phrase with someone that you're likely to talk again very soon, or you didn't manage to say everything you wanted, is Μιλάμε. Μιλάω means to speak. Μιλάω αγγλικά. I speak English. Or μιλάω πολλές ξένες γλώσσες. I speak many foreign languages. But you can use it when you are on the phone chatting with your friend and you suddenly realize that you have an online lesson in 5 minutes and you need to hang up. In this case, you can say έχω μάθημα σε 5 λεπτά. Μιλάμε. I have a lesson in 5 minutes. Keep in touch. Φιλάκια is a very warm way to say goodbye. And such an expression, of course, isn't appropriate to use when you talk with your university professor or as a closing line in an academic essay, because it's very casual. Now I have to point out here that φιλιά ή φιλάκια is one of the ways to close a letter, email, or a card addressed to a close friend or relative, male or female. Other alternative ways are σε φιλώ, με αγάπη, φιλιά πολλά. In Greece, when you meet a family friend, your conversation might last longer. You know what I'm talking about, I think. There is a point that it's time to wrap it up, but the discussion keeps trailing on. In this case, if you want to introduce your intention of terminating the conversation, but you don't want to seem rude or uninterested, you can use the expression πρέπει να πηγαίνω ή πρέπει να φύγω together with a reason. Πρέπει να πηγαίνω γιατί έχω αργήσει για το βραδινό. I must be going cause I'm late for dinner. Η τράπεζα θα κλείσει σε μισή ώρα, πρέπει να φύγω. The bank will close in half an hour, so I must be going. By justifying your decision, I can guarantee that the person on the receiving end will not be offended. Last but not least, the most intimate one, να προσέχεις. This phrase can be only used between very close friends and family members. It means take care of yourself and it shows an affectionate, loving relationship. We don't say να προσέχεις to a stranger, but only to someone that we have an emotional bond with. For example, my mom will use this phrase if I have to go somewhere by car or if I fly back to London. Thank you so much for watching my video. I hope you enjoyed the lesson. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll see you next week in my next lesson. Bye for now.